Happy Thursday evening, everybody. Welcome to Turn 1. I'm Sean Fitz. Glad to be here. Thursday night. You know what that means. It's Ohio sim racing time. Xfinity action at Homestead. It's going to be a great night. Richard Lucky showing on the pole here tonight. River Hayes going to start outside row number 1. James Curl, fastest in practice by a good bit, was able to qualify 3rd. Aaron Jackson, another solid qualifying effort out of Aaron. He's going to start in row number 2 in the 4th place position. Cody Jaberg, Britt Van Meter, Russ Despain, Lane Hosler, Robert Barber, and Ryan Pelfrey round out your top 10 as we get ready to take on 100 laps here at Homestead. It's going to be a good one, as almost every OSR show is right here on Turn 1. Drivers are getting ready to go here. Everybody's gritting up, and we're getting ready to roll for the green flag at Homestead. The sun taking over the track just a little bit. Those conditions are a little different than they were throughout practice, so that's something we'll have to pay close attention to. Does that kind of stay across the entire race, and is that something these drivers are prepared to deal with? Is that something that are they going to be able to handle these cars and the way they drive? Did it change a little bit with maybe some temperature out of the track? 2 sets of tires in the pits for these drivers as they get ready to go racing here at Homestead. And we should see we should see stops, I will call them, whether they be green flag or not, we'll find out. But stops nonetheless happening right around, I would call, lap 45 or so would be a fuel run here at Homestead in these Xfinity machines. Again, the pace cars got them rolling down the backstretch. We'll do one quick warm-up lap, which is halfway over already, and then we're getting ready to go green flag here tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in. We see a couple folks tuning in already over on the Facebook and the YouTube machine. Appreciate you guys being there. We got some Twitch watchers as well. Good evening, everybody. Appreciate you. Miss Bobby Jackson, always a guaranteed show up in the Turn 1 chat. Bobby, good evening. Thanks for being here. Aaron's going to start outside row number 2. We'll see how he performs tonight. Can he get it figured out? We're going to find out. They're getting ready to go. The engine's revving as they come out of turn number 4. The pace car is going to duck down pit road. Richard Lucky on the pole is going to get a rolling, and the green flag is out. We're underway at Homestead. A couple different lines at play already here. We saw Richard Lucky rip that high line going through turn number 1. These cars spread real far out. River Hayes now out front of Richard Lucky. I'm sorry, it was River Hayes taking that outside line. Richard Lucky taking the inside. That's going to put River out front. He's going to lead lap number 1. Those two got an impressive start, and it's a calamity back here around Aaron Jackson. That's Russ Despain. Robert Barber looking to get around Aaron there for those top 5 spots here early going. As they come down the backstretch, getting up to speed now. The top 5 single file starting to fan out. It's Hayes, now Lucky all over the bumpers. They roll through 3 and 4. Hayes moved down to the bottom just a little bit, so he is trying a little bit of a different line. Again, you're going to have to figure out what works for you, the car, the track. And Homestead offers a couple different places to get that done. You can run up against the wall and be very quick here. You can also run on the bottom. You see Aaron Jackson up against the wall in turn 1. He's trying to make that work early here on lap number 3. But everybody can kind of pick a lane that works for them. And tire wear is a big deal here at Homestead. We're going to see about 2 seconds a lap of tire fall off. And that will be a factor. In the meantime, though, River Hayes, don't talk to him about tire wear. Him and Richard Lucky out front now, almost over a second over 3rd place, Russ Despain. Splitting the lanes. Lucky going high, Hayes going low. That's going to give Lucky the big run down the backstretch. Does he got anything to make something happen in turn number 3? He's going to pull within a car length. Right down to the bottom. Hayes is going to move, and it looks like Lucky may get a little arrow tight off that. He's going to slide up the track a little bit loose of time. Hayes now pulling out to a 3-car length lead as he comes across the stripe. In the meantime, just behind them, this is Russ Despain and Robert Barber running nose to tail here down the front stretch. And then Lane Hosler rounding out your top 5. You got Cody Jaybird all over the bumper here. I believe this is Cody's. If it's not Cody's first race back, it's one of the first. I haven't seen him in a race in quite a while. Cody Jaybird, regardless, is going to move into the top 5, take that spot away from Lane Hosler. Aaron Jackson, after starting 4th, followed back to 7th. Maybe some tire conservation happening out of the 12. He's got Ryan Pelfrey right behind him, though. John Cross also makes up here in the top 10. He's currently running 9th. And then 10th place, James Curl. Again, James was fastest through practice, but conditions are quite different right now during the race. Full sun, the track was heated up during practice, but during the race, it is a different story. No cloud, or the clouds have got the sun completely hidden. The track is surely playing out to be a little differently here in the early part of this race. Mostly single file for the most part. We look a little further back here. That's David Moore, Alan Marshall, and Brad Lee battling it out. That's for position. That's back there around 20th or so. Meantime, let's go back and look up front. It's River Hayes, Richard Lucky still running 1-2. Last time by, though, Lucky set a blistering 33.58. That is the fastest lap on track so far, and he was able to do that there on lap number 7. Definitely using the good off those good years. Richard Lucky in that 67 machine running second, continued to run second rather. Our top 5 is mostly settled out here. Again, Lucky maintains a 1.4 second lead over Russ Despain. Back behind him, Despain now falling to the back to the bumper here of Robert Barber. Those two nose to tail as they roll out of the corner. Last time by here, Barber was about even with Despain in lap time. This time by, though, Robert nearly 2/10 faster than Despain. Speaking of 2/10 faster, well, 1/10 faster, Richard Lucky last time by faster than our leader, River Hayes. The problem is going to be passing here, especially when you have these two cars running almost identical lines around the corner there. You saw that happen just now. Richard Lucky and Hayes running kind of right in each other's tire tracks. Lucky is going, if he wants to make the pass, he's going to have to put the car somewhere that Hayes is not. Obviously, there's no real room there on the bottom. Hayes is going to continue to hit his marks right down to that white line. Where does he elect to go? That'll be a factor here tonight. What makes sense, or where makes sense for him to keep the car both offensively and defensively? Where can Richard Lucky capitalize? Well, right now he wants to be on the bottom of that racetrack, either be for car handling, tire wear, or just plain speed. That's what he's got right now here as we take lap number 11. We were looking back at this this battle here with Despain and Barber, but it looks like Despain's going to have the upper hand at least for now, pulling out the 3/10 of a lead over Robert Barber. That is for third place position. Barber starting to slide back just a little bit now instead of being right there to the bumper, falling as much as 3 or 4 car lengths down the backstretch. You see Barber there taking a little bit of a wider exit off the corner, maybe trying to get a little bit more speed out of the car, but he's going to lose a little bit of time down the front stretch. As we look a little further back here, that's Ryan Pelfrey. Ryan Pelfrey looking around Aaron Jackson. Aaron's still working that high line, currently sitting 8th after losing that spot to Pelfrey. Oh, they nearly make contact off of 2 there. That gets tight. Side by side, it's a drag race down the backstretch. Aaron Jackson looking to try to hold him off on the outside. Normally here at Homestead, the 12 car has got the right idea. Up there on that high line is where a lot of these drivers like to run. We'll see if tire wear pushes some of these drivers up there, and does that then give Jackson the upper hand? We're going to find out, but I know it definitely is helping him right now because Ryan Pelfrey can't really go anywhere. By the time he comes out of the corner, Jackson's right there, and he can't unwind that wheel like you would want to and go up against the wall down the stretch here, and that's going to slow down the 33 of Pelfrey. James Curl, again, sitting 10th right now, was the fastest driver during practice. And but again, different track positions or different track conditions playing into it here. And now he's him and John Cross are caught up in this battle with Pelfrey and Jackson fighting side by side. This is a four-way battle essentially for 8th. Pelfrey's finally going to get clear of Aaron Jackson down the backstretch. Now Jackson's going to have to fight, or John Cross is going to have to fight with Aaron Jackson. Cross goes deep low. Pelfrey almost not low enough, and John Cross able to get the nose in there just a little bit. Now it's nearly a 3-wide battle down the front stretch. Jackson and James Curl, along with John Cross on the bottom. It's going to be a 3-wide moment here again as they exit off of turn number 2, but James Curl's going to bail out of it just a little bit while John Cross is going to try to get clear of Jackson. Again, that high line playing a factor here as they battle for that 9th place spot. Curl now right there in the middle. Jackson all the way up against the wall. I believe he's going to make contact. Curl's going to slide by. Jackson's going to fall back to 10th. Not what Jackson wants to see here in the early going. After having such a strong start, we'll continue to watch that fight as it progresses. In the meantime, let's go back up front, checking our leaders. River Hayes here on lap number 16. It's still got that car on cruise control, but the tire wear starting to play a factor. Fastest laps, Hayes ran a 33.59. That was on lap number 3. Now, currently, last time by, ran a 34.27. So that is definitely showing you tire wear is becoming a factor. Nearly a full second close to a full second off lap times here, 17 laps in. And not quite halfway into this tire run here tonight at Homestead. Robert Barber here has not let Despain get a little far or too far out in front. Despain and Barber now are continuing to maintain that 2 to 3 car length gap, but both these drivers still within 1.3 seconds or so of Richard Lucky, so really no pressure out back for the driver of the 67. I imagine if we get a chance to talk to Lucky or just knowing him in general, wow, actually had to hit a strong run coming off of 2. That's going to put him alongside River Hayes. This is a battle for the lead here on lap number 18 as they come through 3 and 4. Hayes is going to have the RPM out of the corner, but can Lucky materialize something? He's not going to. Hayes is going to lead that lap, but it's going to be side by side into 1. Hayes on the outside. Lucky diving it deep here on the bottom. Remember we were talking about somebody was going to have to go somewhere different? Well, they did, and now Hayes is maybe potentially regretting that because Richard Lucky all over the inside. Lucky is going to give up that bottom line. Hayes now is going to move back down there. Still going to run about a lane higher than Lucky. That's going to get the RPM, and he's going to gain a little bit of time here off the corner. Let's see what he does in 1. Hayes is going to go right back to the bottom. Lucky's going to try to follow. That's what I meant by somebody's going to have to run a different line for a pass to materialize here. Hayes went to the high side, maybe looking for a little bit more speed. Maybe he knows that tire starting to fall off a little bit. What can he do to keep the speed up? If he's out there exploring, and that got him in a little bit of trouble. Lucky was able to look to the inside for almost a full lap, but ultimately Hayes able to hold him off. Oh, and the caution's out on the racetrack for the first time tonight. On lap number 21. Looks like Brad Lee may be involved. He's going to get that car back rolling, but some smoke behind him. See if we can find out what brought that flag out. Let's see what happened here to the 83 of Lee. It looks like maybe coming off of turn number 2. On that outside line. Oh, it just gets loose all by himself up there. Lee's going to spin it. Looks like he's going to be able to maintain no contact and keep that 83 nice and clean. And we're under caution here for the first time tonight at Homestead for OSR Xfinity Series. And this is going to bring everybody down. Oh, we're going to have some games. Richard Lucky stays out. Russ Despain, Lane Holzler, Ryan Pelfrey, John Cross. Taylor Lockler's also going to stay out. This is going to be big. This is big time gambles here for these 6 drivers who stayed out. River Hayes is going to lead the rest of the field down pit road. That will be a 4-tire and fuel stop for all these drivers. This could be interesting. Split strategy at play here at Homestead. We'll step aside for just a moment, come back and cover the action. You're watching Turn 1. Well, we've got some strategy afoot. 6 cars electing to stay out. Richard Lucky, Russell Spain, Lane Hoser, Ryan Pelfrey, John Cross, Taylor Lockler. All out on 20-lap-old tires. River Hayes was the first of the group that pit to come down pit road and come off pit road. This is all going to be about buffer. How much or how long can those 6 cars stay up front before River Hayes and co. get by? A pace car is going to come down pit road. Richard Lucky, the control car, and a green flag back out. Lap number 24. This is going to be very interesting. Let's pay close attention to this battle back here. It's going to get squirrely. Hayes to the bottom. He's looking underneath Cody Schaberg. It's going to be a big wild run down the backstretch. Hayes looking for anywhere to go, but the track is blocked. A 51 has got him blocked in there as well. Not a whole lot. That's James Curl there. He came down pit road. Hayes really not making any progress. Now the 21 of Schaberg trying to block down the front stretch. You're not missing anything up front. We're going to follow this battle very closely. Now Hayes, he's outside of row number 2, or outside of turn 2. And he's got a clear path forward. Faster. And now he's getting by some cars. He's going to look underneath Ryan Pelfrey. Now setting sights for Lane Hoser. This is going to be quick and quick action by Hayes here. He's going to look underneath Lane Hoser into turn 1. Meantime, let's look a little further back. They're back here battling. This is a 5-car battle for 5th. With Ryan Pelfrey. Oh, whoa! The aid of Robert Barber sitting it in there hard. Cody Schaberg continuing back here. I would argue, he's the guy that everybody is saying, hey, block, block, block. And Robert Barber, Ryan Pelfrey, and others are paying for it. And really, if you're Cody Schaberg, you only need to do this for 5 or 6 laps. And that good on those tires is going to start wearing off, but you're not making any friends on track. Barber now looking to the high side. But, oh, Schaberg's going to play it perfectly. He's going to try and pinch him underneath the 81. I'm sorry, was that the 61? That's the, yeah, no, who was that? Yeah, no, that's the 61, Hosler, yep. Hoser's going to fall back. Barber now back to the bumper of Schaberg. James Curl now sitting in third. Richard Lucky, River Hayes able to get by Lucky. He's going to set sail here. Now it's James Curl, Richard Lucky battling side by side. Now that the dust is settled on the restart a little bit here, let's talk about why this may work out for the 67 car. He is betting on a couple late race cautions, and by that I mean he wants to see this run probably for another 20 laps. He wants to come down around lap 40, maybe lap 45, whatever the end of his original pit window was, and come down and take tires. He just needs to survive that long. Then he's going to have an extra set in the pits while everybody will need to take tires around, again, lap 50, lap 60, lap 70. He will have another set in the pits ready to go. This is strategy being played by Richard Lucky and those that stayed out for a late race run at the end of it here. It's a gamble, but it's a smart one. It wasn't, I don't think this is a bad move just yet with that early caution here. Meantime, River Hayes out front, but he's got James Curl on the hunt. James now within 0.2 of a second over, over James Curl. Cody Jayberg, remember, again, he didn't come down, Cody Jayberg did come down pit road, lap number 21. For some reason, I thought Cody Jayberg he stayed out, but no, he came down on lap number 21, so he's been down pit road. So that just worked out. He helped everybody else. He kind of held up the traffic a little bit and wasn't able to really get around everybody. So still, I think, nonetheless, I think Jayberg was a little bit of an accomplice there. One of the first driver to not pit, currently running fifth, Lane Hosler, now 61, making it work on those older tires. And then Richard Lucky, another driver, has not come down yet. He's running eighth, but Lucky starting to fall a little bit. You see Scott Formosa looking underneath Lucky all the way up against the wall. It was a 3-wide move there for just a moment. Brian Torrey, Steve Whitmore, Britt Van Meter moving up to seventh. Derek Grigsby, he's up to 6th. So a good night, or so far a decent run for these drivers that come down pit road. But ultimately 6 drivers yet to pit here on lap number 32. James Curl, Robert Barber, Cody Jayberg. This is basically a 3-way battle for second. All 3 drivers on fresh rubber. We'll see how this all shakes out here. Get about 10 laps on those tires now. Let's just give you a lap time comparison of somebody who's come down pit road, somebody who hasn't. Last time by, our leader, River Hayes, ran a 34.18 to Lane Hosler, who has not come down pit road, a 34.57. He's quickly losing time to our leader, about 3.7 seconds back. They're going to continue to lose that time here as we look a little bit further back. This is Derek Grigsby, Lane Hosler battling it out. He's going to bring Scott Formosa with him, and then the 27 car, Britt Van Meter, is right there in the mix as well. Really, the battle starts right here at 5th with Derek Grigsby. He's going to have Formosa on the outside just behind him, and then Whitmore and Hosler, Brian Torrey, Britt Van Meter, your top 10. As we work lap number 35 of 100 here tonight, Ohio Sim Racing brings you Xfinity Series action right here on Turn 1 Thursday night. Always a good time when we got the Ohio Sim Racing guys on the channel. And calling our races for literal years at this point. Appreciate them being with us and letting us showcase what these drivers have got here. Mixed strategies, if you're just tuning in, is the name of the call. An early race caution, lap number 21, or lap number 20, brought 6 of what I would consider some of the fastest drivers of the group elected to not come down pit road at a very tire-centric racetrack. And now Lane Hosler's fallen all the way back to 11th. And he's the first driver not to take those tires. Again, though, This is not a bad move yet. I'm not willing to say that. They know this is a gamble for late race. All the rest of these drivers only have one additional set of tires in the pits, while those drivers will have new Goodyear rubber to put on in the late running of this. If we were to see a caution here in the next, say, 10, 15, 20 laps, that would then bring them down, and they would still have a set in the pits. Also, on the other hand of that, they're going to have another set for the second half of the race. So really, those 6 drivers betting on some late race shenanigans here at Homestead. You're not missing anything up front. River Hayes actually continuing to maintain about a 2/10 of a second lead over James Carl. Cody Jaybird currently sitting third. Robert Barber, Derek Grigsby maintaining that top 5 spot. Steve Whitmore, that driver of that 70 car. We've talked about him over the years. He's always consistently quick. I think Whitmore would say that he'd love to see a few more victories in the old iRacing results log. But right now, sitting currently 6th place, just behind Grigsby here, looking for another decent finish. Just behind him is Scott Formosa and Brian Torrey, who's battling side by side, have been changing or tried to swap this spot here for the last 2 laps. Just hanging neck and neck with one another, not able to really get either one of them, not able to get the position cemented in. In the meantime, Aaron Jackson just behind him in 9th. He started P4 tonight after maybe a little bit of contact with the ball. Jackson's running that high line, trying to make something work. That's completely different than the rest of this group on track. And hanging on for a top 10 right now. Looking ahead again. That's Grigsby. Whitmore now underneath him. He's going to make that pass coming off of 2. Whoa, Grigsby may have gotten a little loose there. And now Steve Whitmore is going to drive away. Welcome to the top 5, the 70 car. Look back here. Looks like we got another, this battle kind of continuing to fall. This is Brian Toria Jackson looking to go back and forth. Who was that just behind him? Is that Cody McGork? Cody, I may be mispronouncing that. The 28 machine. He looked like he may have gotten loose off of 4, able to save it. Then Scott Hobson looking underneath Lane Hosler. Lane again continuing to be one of those drivers who have not come down pit road. He's currently running 13th. Richard Lucky is 14th. Ryan Pelfrey, 15th. And then Justin Waters splits the group. And then it's Taylor Locklear, Russ Despain. John Cross, again, who has not come down, is currently running 20th. About to run, are getting close to the edge of their pit window, I'd imagine. We're going to see them probably come down here in the next 10 laps or so, I would assume. We'll continue to kind of track that story when we see them come. Maybe some green flag stops in the mix here. Unfortunately, that is not going to help them, at least immediately. And I say that because they're going to lose a lap, and they're going to have to unlap themselves. They would ideally like to see a caution fall right now for things to kind of work in their favor. That would put the rest of the field on those 4 tires that they have left in the pits and kind of equalize things out, and then a big sprint to the very end. This is a side-by-side battle here. Looks like Torrey is not going to be able to maintain that top 10 spot. He's going to fall back to the 11th position with that 28 car able to squeeze by. River Hayes still out front, but just barely. Still maintaining about a 2/10 of a second lead over James Curl. Cody Jaber currently running 3rd, but he's a good bit back. And then you've got Robert Barber running 4th. Steve Whitmore in that 70 car. He's up 16 spots tonight. Those pit stops certainly help, but he'll take everything he can get. Currently running 5th. Want to take this quick opportunity while we've got it to talk about tonight's sponsors. Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, PA, for their support of the OSR group here on the Xfinity Series side. Appreciate them stepping up and making it possible to bring these races to you each and every Thursday night. We also want to thank Cross Collision and Body. That's John Cross's group over there for their support as well. Again, able to bring the broadcast to you here tonight thanks to the OSR sponsors. So we appreciate them being on board. We're starting to see those pit stops come to fruition. Ryan Pelfrey said he's had enough. He's going to pit. That was from, I believe, the 15th place position. Pelfrey's going to come down, get 4 tires and fuel. I imagine we will see Lane Hosler, Richard Lucky probably down not too far after that. And then we'll see how this all shakes out. In the meantime, we're looking back up front. Cody Jayberg is starting to get to the bumper here, James Carl, and both of them are not far off of River Hayes. This is a new change. Jayberg now up there trying to battle for this spot. He's looking underneath the 51 as they roll into turn number 3. Last time by, Jayberg was the fastest by almost a full 10th of the top 3. He's going to get clear of Curl here, maybe using a little bit of tire equity. Cody Jayberg is going to squeeze by and move into the P2 position. Meantime, Lane Hosler is going to elect to stay out another lap. Richard Lucky's going to stay with him, not quite to the window they want to be in just yet here. Lap number 48, almost to the halfway point of tonight's race. Looking back behind Aaron Jackson, it's Scott Formosa and Cody McGorick. Side by side. That is for position. Oh, we got a loose race car. Cody, hang on to it. We saw the tire smoke start to come out from under that car. Had a little bit of wheel in there trying to get to the throttle faster. And unfortunately, he's going to lose that spot. Burn a little bit of tire in the process. Now, looking up front, Cody Jayberg, River Hayes running identical lap times last time by. Jayberg looking to try to make something happen here at Homestead as they come across the stripe. That's officially the halfway point of tonight's race. Speaking of trying to make something happen, Russ Despain is in his pit window. He's going to come get tires. The right side's up. Now the left side's up on that 50 car. Despain on pit road for full service. He's going to lose a lap, like I mentioned, with Ryan Pelfrey. But these guys are going to be fast. And I mean quick. See how this shakes out. Pelfrey, the last time by, ran a 33.63, his best lap of the night. He's going to have that car on cruise control, but he's going to be off sequence now, so he's got to play this smart. While we see Taylor Locklear on pit road for the first time this evening. That's still going to leave Lane Hosler, Richard Lucky, John Cross left to come down. Now that we're just past halfway in terms of the tire and fuel run for these drivers that came down on lap number 23, that's where Pelfrey and co are going to flip the script. They're going to be a little faster than these guys for a little bit. When do they then come down? They're going to have to pit one more before the end of this, or at least get close to it. Maybe they're going to just try a one-stop the race here tonight. Maybe that's the process, but they're going to have to run hard from here on out. As we see, I believe that was Lane Hosler come down pit road. No. Who was that hopped down there? Definitely wasn't Lane. I believe that may have been Chris Hockley in that 3 car that we saw. He's going to hit pit road. No, it was a 62, I believe. Of John Brancacao. John, I apologize about that. The 62 is going to hit pit road for tires and service. Meantime, River Hayes out front, but Cody Jayberg right in the tire tracks, looking to try to make something happen here. Lap number 53. Again, these drivers are 30 laps into their run and probably have about another 15 to 20 in fuel before they're going to have to come down. And we'll see if this other strategy works out for Pelfrey, as Jayberg's going to look underneath Hayes. We'll take a look. Pelfrey right now looks like he is coming out of turn number 4. Is that right? No, coming down the backstretch right now. Ryan Pelfrey is. And River Hayes is leading him down the front stretch. So about a half a lap lead. Pelfrey's going to have to run pretty hard. The same goes for the rest of those drivers. That's Locklear, Despain. They've come down pit road. Lucky and Hosler have not come yet. Neither is John Cross. Again, maybe trying to just, they're trying to get to the good. They've got enough now, clearly on the fuel mileage side, to get to the end of the race. They're wanting to one-stop this thing. And I know the driver of that 67, now that we're here, he's going to want this to stay green the whole way. He does not want to see another caution. He wants to come down pit road, get his tires under green, and he wants to see this run all the way out to fruition so that he can take advantage of that full green flag run on those tires. In the meantime, we got a battle for the lead here. Lap number 56. That Hayes and Jayberg side by side down the backstretch. Hayes is going to leverage that high side of that racetrack, and the RPM gain it's going to give him, or keep the RPM in the car. In the meantime, the double O, who has got those tires and is moving, it's going to squeeze by. Sorry, I'm not sure quite who that. Oh, well, that was David Moore, who has come down pit road already. So he is making moves on new rubber. That just shows you how quick some of those new tires can be. And that's what Lucky and Co. are betting on. Speaking of faster, those new tires, Chris Hockley, he's currently running 23rd at the moment, but just ran the fastest lap of the entire field, a 33.45. Again, right after those pit stops, we talked about him being down pit road not long ago. Those tires now up to temp and working well for Hockley. Looks like while we were talking about all this, Richard Lucky's been down pit road. He came on lap number 55. So he is going to be full tilt now, you better bet. Yep, looks like he came down last time by there. That last lap, pretty extensive. That was his out lap. Now let's see what he could do to put down some pace. This is what he's got. He wants us to stay green for this entire time. Currently sitting 22nd a lap down. See what this lap looks like as an out lap now that he's up to speed. Keep in mind those tires are not quite going to be up to temp yet. But Richard Lucky last time by is going to run a 33.98. Still going to find probably about 5/10 on those tires over the next 2 or 3 laps. We'll see how Richard Lucky is able to shake this out. Betting on a one-stop strategy and hoping for the green flag the whole way through. In the meantime, Cody Jayberg on the inside of River Hayes. This is 4-race lead here. These two have been battling it out for on and off for about 10 laps or so. They came down on lap number 21. They're going to come down again for fuel here, I imagine, in the next 10 to 15. I do believe that's going to have to happen unless they run it a little bit further out. We'll see. Of course, we've seen a couple others run it a full nearly 58 laps. So we'll see if they could run all the way to 70, which would put them about, again, in about 10 to 15, or about 15 laps. Jayberg side by side. Hayes on the outside. Jayberg's been really committed to that bottom. We saw Hayes flirt with that outside line, trying to make something of it over the last couple runs. Now, Cody Jayberg is going to take the air off the nose down the front stretch. It's going to force Hayes to be back down to the bottom. Jayberg's going to follow him down there in the cross-up. Jayberg still making that, a little loose there out of the 21. We saw that car twitch just a little bit. Able to hang on to it, though. Does Hayes go back to the high side? He doesn't. He's going to move down to the bottom. and protect his line. Right down to that white line. Jayberg's been on the inside of him for back and forth for a couple laps here, so he knows that he's got to play it smart there and protect that bottom line. Let's take a look through the rest of your top 5. James Curl right now running 3rd. And then a 3-way battle for 4th. For 3rd, rather. This is Steve Whitmore sitting in 4th. Robert Barber 5th. And then Britt Van Meter, Derek Grigsby, Aaron Jackson, Cody McGorrick, Scott Formosa, your top 10. Let's take a look here and back with a couple of these drivers that may have or that waited to pit. Ryan Pelfrey, he's raced his way back. Looks like back onto the lead lap. No, but he's only got 3 cars remaining. Pelfrey now down into 3 and 4, and our leaders are just ahead. He's about to unlap himself. He's going to follow. He has got Taylor Locklear, Richard Lucky, Russ Despay. He's pretty much got the whole one-stop crew in his tire tracks. In the meantime, Barber's going to come down pit road. This is a sign we could see this lead pack coming here in the next 5 laps. Barber on pit road, lap number 64. That was a 42-lap green flag run for the 8 car. He's going to hit pit road. Right sides are going to go on. Looks like the left sides are going to go on that car as well. This will be Robert Barber's final stop down pit road. This is his last set of tires. He's going to have to run a 35-lap stint. In the meantime, River Hayes, Cody Jayberg continue to battle. As it gets a little darker and a little darker each and every lap, the lights are on here at Homestead. We were talking about Pelfrey going to play a factor with these leaders. Well, guess what? He's there. He has run down our leaders. They're going to work to ungap himself. Yeah. Oh, the 83 is going to go high. Nearly going to make contact with the wall. Pelfrey's going to split everybody in the middle. And that is Ryan Pelfrey unlapping himself here. Lap number 67. He, again, wants this to stay green. I believe Alan Marshall in that 82 may have gotten a little sideways coming on the pit road. The green flag's going to stay out. Let's take a quick look at this. I believe Alan Marshall may have had an eventful pit road entrance. Coming off of 4. Looking right down pit road. Gets it woed up. Oh, but doesn't quite make pit road. Oh, no. And then he's trying to stay out of the racing line. Unfortunately, Alan Marshall making it look like as difficult as it truly is to get down pit road sometimes in the NASCAR series. In the meantime, River Hayes, Cody Jayberg are continuing to run up front. A 1-second lead keeps them protected from James Curl. He's currently just sitting and running around here in P3. Steve Whitmore, P4. Britt Van Meter now looking to make a top 5 run here. I believe that was Hockley trying to squeeze by him, as well as the 5 car. That's Grigsby. I believe it sure is. Grigsby is in 5th, or in 6th rather, as we see Aaron Jackson. He's going to come down pit road. He gets it slowed down. Final stops for the 12. Continuing to battle on those older tires is Hayes and Jayberg as they come across the stripe. 30 to go here. It has been officially 48 or 49 laps since these drivers have been down pit road. We've seen some of the one-stoppers make it 58 laps. Does Jayberg pull the trigger and decide to come down early? They're going to start to face some pressure the more these other cars come down. Hayes is going to go to the high side. Jayberg's going to look underneath him. Does somebody pit first and try to get on sequence with tires or get off sequence with tires and pull away from this? In the meantime, they've all got to worry about Ryan Pelfrey and co, who are racing for that, racing on that strategy. Richard Lucky looks like he is just. Oh, Richard Lucky's way off. He's currently sitting coming out of turn number 2. Yeah, Richard Lucky still a good ways behind River Hayes. Keep in mind, though, he came down late. Ryan Pelfrey came down the earliest. Lucky did not come back down, didn't come down until lap number 55. While Ryan Pelfrey came at 45, so a 10-lap gradient there. We'll see Lucky could probably continue to run down these leaders and see how this all will cycle out once it's said and done. We were still going to see all but 6 cars come down pit road at least one more time. Hayes back down to the bottom. He's been all over the racetrack here tonight, the high side, the low side, whatever he needs to do, both from a defensive standpoint, but I would imagine offensive as well, trying to find just a little bit of speed or maybe trying to keep those tires manageable in the 54. So far paying off, leading the most laps here tonight. River Hayes up front, started outside of row number 1 and has had Cody Jayberg all over the bumper of that car. Just behind him, that's Lane Hosler. He is looking to get his lap back. And he's going to earn it well, not the easy way. He's going to earn it the hard way. He's going to go to the high side. He's going to have a ton of pace here coming off the corner. He's going to try to get by. He's going to drive by the leaders in the corner here. This is going to prevent Hayes from getting to the high side. Does that slow him down in the corner? We'll follow that as Richard Lucky is also in the rear view of the 21, looking to get his lap back. Oh, and Hayes is going to come down pit road. He's going to catch Jayberg with him. They both pit at the same time. Jayberg, I think nearly got into the bumper of the 54. Our leaders down pit road for last stops of the night. That's going to surrender the top spot to James Curl. He's going to have to pit here at some point in the next couple of laps. Steve Whitmore, Britt Van Meter. Now your top 3. These drivers still will have to come down pit road. So this is not quite done yet. Taylor Locklear is going to look underneath Curl. Curl may have gotten a little loose there off the corner. That looked a little twitchy. With Locklear going to make a move here now. Let's take a look out back. River Hayes is going to fall just a lap down. You see Curl there, right there. So River Hayes is going to put himself back on the lead lap. Best possible position for him. Who doesn't like to hear that news, though, is Richard Lucky. And those drivers that elected to not come down pit road. They've been out there now about 20 laps on those tires. Oh, the caution's out! That's going to change things. Looks like Aaron Jackson may be involved. Oh, he reset to the pits, unfortunately. But it looks like Jackson may have had a crash. Let's find out. Let's see if this is what brought that caution out. This is going to change everything, folks. Woo, yeah. Jackson, unfortunately, is going to go for a big ride. And that's going to, unfortunately, take Jackson out of it for tonight as the caution's going to come out only for the second time here at Homestead for the Ohio Sim Racing Xfinity Series. This will shake some stuff up. Right now, that James Curl is going to be out front. Steve Whitmore, Britt Van Meter. your top three, but they come down, will have to come down pit road. A mix of these cars won't need to, though. But what will drivers like Ryan Pelfrey do? He's going to currently sit 6th. He's going to come down pit road. Lane Holzer, he came down on lap number 59. Does he pit now? Who knows? Boy, this is going to really mix things up. And there we have it. Whitmore's going to come down. Justin, yeah, it looks like everybody's coming, including Richard Lucky. Now, some of these drivers don't have tires remaining. And we'll see who that's obviously going to be Robert Barber. He's going to stay out. He's already used his 2 sets. River Hayes is in the same boat. But he came down here on lap number 74. So that was just, oh, goodness. That was 4 laps ago. Robert Barber, though, is in a little bit of a different situation. He came down about 14 laps ago. And then everybody else is coming down. And they're coming off pit road here. Van Meter and Whitmore rounding out the top 5. This is going to be a really, really interesting restart. But Byron of Tire Strategy. We're going to reset everything when we get back. We're going to step aside for one more break here. Caution, or the second caution of the night, 22 to go. You're watching Turn 1. Green flag back out. And Robert Barber, James Curl up front, but River Hayes on the move. Newer tires going to pay off here quick. Hayes on the outside. Oh, Barber's going to get turned. Hayes is going to get involved. Several cars are junk in turn number 2. Oh, Cody Jaybird may have got a little contact of that as well back there. This all started with River Hayes on the outside, and that was making everybody kind of squeeze through a gap there. Let's go back and take another look at this. Hayes on the outside, Barber curls there as well. Oh, yeah, it looks like James Carl Barber going to make contact. I'm sorry, that's Whitmore as well there. But it looks like ultimately somebody may have made a little bit of contact to River Hayes there. He may have escaped that without too much damage, but we'll see. But that's going to take out several fast drivers, and that's going to bring out another caution here. That reset quickly. Hayes, Van Meter, Pelfrey, your top 3. Remember, Pelfrey, he's got those new tires. He's got some of those newest tires on track, along with a couple other drivers. That strategy, one-stop strategy, not quite paying off for Pelfrey, Holzer, and Lucky. They are back into the top 10. We'll see if that matters, but right now, under caution again for the 3rd time with 18 to go. Sorry about that restart. It snuck up on us. But we'll have to take a look on the right side of that 54. There may be, yeah, that bumper is definitely bent out. Let's see if we can ride on board with the 27 and maybe take a better look here at the leader and that right rear potential damage. Yeah, there's definite damage there to the back of the 34 or the 54 Toyota. Left rear's crinkled in just a little bit. That may affect that spoiler and the downforce. Riding on board here with Britt Van Meter. We'll have to pay close attention to that and see if that makes a difference in the handling characteristics of that car here in the late going. But let's talk about the tire strategy. Again, Hayes came down lap number 54. Everybody else in the top 10, minus Cody Jaberg, who's sitting 10th, all came down lap number 78. So that last caution and took 4 in fuel. That includes Ryan Pelfrey, Lane Hoser, Richard Lucky, Taylor Locklear, Russ Spain. Those drivers initially trying a one-stop strategy. Unfortunately, that's not going to work here tonight. But they do have, they're back on the same set, or the same strategy as the rest of the field. We'll see if that works out in their favor. Pace car lights are off. That means 1 to go here. They're going to get the call. They get the green flag with 16 laps remaining. And I imagine we'll see another full press. Not many laps left, and it's going to be a 16-lap sprint to the finish. You're not conserving anymore. You're pushing these tires to the fullest. You may want to save for 3 or 4 laps, but it's going to be after you've completed what you could get done on the restarts. Or on the restart, rather. As we are now officially firmly and fully under the lights here at Homestead for OSR Xfinity action. Turn 1, appreciate you being here. Aaron, we see your message, man. Sorry to hear about that. Unfortunately, Aaron Jackson, the 12 car, having an incident on the backstretch and getting caught into the wall, and a bunch of stuff's going to take the 12 out for the evening. In the meantime, River Hayes, Britt Van Meter outside row number 1. In the restart zone, the green flag back out. We're rolling again here at Homestead. Hayes is going to get clear of Van Meter. He's going to bring Pelfrey with him. They get clear. Van Meter is going to fall back to 3rd. Our top 5 mostly figured out here. Now, oh, that was Richard Lucky deep onto the bottom, slicing and dicing down the backstretch. Here goes Richard Lucky. This is prime Lucky. Oh, we see the 62, I believe that was, get into the wall. No, I'm sorry, that was the 28. We're going to see Lucky be lucky here. How far forward can he get? In the meantime, we've got a side-by-side battle for the lead. Hayes is going to be on the bottom. Richard Lucky's going to drive, Ryan Pelfrey's going to drive around him. Oh, whoa, big bobble back there. We got several cars taking evasive maneuvers towards the back of the pack. I'm not quite sure what happened there. It looks like River Hayes is definitely having handling issues. He is falling back. Lane Holzer's now going to take that spot. The 54, after a dominant night, leading the most laps, had a little bit of contact on that last restart, maybe affecting the handling of the 54 car. Holzer's going to get by. He's going to try to bring Britt Van Meter with him. Here comes the 27. As they come down the backstretch, Ryan Pelfrey out front, looking for, he's out checker flag hunting with 14 to go. Taking a look back, River Hayes continuing to fall back, now currently sitting 5th. Lucky was able to squeeze by him back, and Richard Lucky now up to 4th. And Lucky quickly moving up to the bumper of the 27. He's on full tilt. Lane Holzler, by the way, looking pretty quick, but settled about half a second back behind our leader Pelfrey with 12 to go. Lucky able to squeeze by Van Meter as they come across the stripe to take 11 laps here remaining tonight at Homestead. Under the lights for OSR Xfinity action right here in turn one. Lucky now moving into the top 3. If he's able to maintain that spot, it'll be interesting to talk to him post-race about all the shenanigans happening as the 50 car is going to look outside the 21. That's Despain and Jayberg battling it out. Jayberg's going to get into the corner of Despain and cause a caution. Contact between the 21 and the 50 car is going to bring the caution out for the 4th time here tonight. Let's go back and take another look at this incident. Keep a close eye on Cody Jayberg on the bottom. Jayberg is there. Oh no, the 50 car just gets loose. That's Despain unfortunately getting loose there and Cody Jayberg really just not able to really go anywhere. And that's going to bring the caution out for the 4th time here tonight at Homestead. Ryan Pelfrey leading. And I doubt we see too much action down pit road. If we do, it's going to be a splash of gas maybe for some of these drivers, but really everybody should be to the good for a couple laps. We're going to step aside one more time. You're watching Turn 1. A little at the line shenanigans happening there with Ryan Pelfrey electing to take the high side on the restart. This is not the restart he wanted to see. He was out to a 0.5 of a second lead over Hoser Lucky. Where does this put him once this is all said and done? Pace car's coming down the backstretch. We're going to go green flag racing with 6 laps remaining. And it's going to be Pelfrey, Hosler, Van Meter, Lucky, and Cody Jayberg. Your top 5. We'll see how this all shakes out. Can Pelfrey leverage the high side to get by? Does Hosler leverage the opportunity to sit it down to the inside? Meanwhile, they've all got to worry about the 67 back there and the 27. Who's going to be up front when it matters most? The pace car back down pit road. The 33 is going to be the control car. In this restart zone, the green flag back out. We're underway again at Homestead, 6 to go. Pelfrey's going to get clear of Hosler down into 1. It's going to be a 3-car run here, single file. They get it smoothed out. Off the corner they come. Pelfrey jockeying for position. Hosler was nearly there down the backstretch. Huge run for that driver. Fast lap for the 61, but I don't think he's going to be there in time, or be there with enough. 5 to go. By the way, once these two get fighting, if they get fighting, and it looks like they're going to, Hosler's going to be the high side. But if these two get into it, it's going to fall right in the hands of Pelfrey at the very end, or Lucky at the very end. Pelfrey all over the racetrack, trying to find every possible point of speed here. He's going to get clear off of turn number 4. 4 to go. Pelfrey trying to break that draft off the 61. Hosler's now going to come down to the very bottom. Pelfrey's going to run real high up the racetrack out of 2 there. Whoa, boy, that looked close. But that kept the gap a little bit better than it was last time. Pelfrey able to keep some speed into it. Wow, Hosler sent it deep in the entry of turn 3. That gap about 4 car lengths. 3 to go. Van Meter looking underneath Lucky. That's a side-by-side battle here at the very end. That's for 3rd. You're not missing anything up front. We're going to watch this battle for a little bit. Lucky's going to look underneath, or Van Meter's going to look underneath Lucky. Lucky's going to have the drive off. As they come to the stripe for 2 to go. Van Meter starts to pull side by side. What a battle for 3rd. In the meantime, Pelfrey starting to drive away from the 61. 4/10 of a second now. Needs to hit his marks. Woo, it looks like he was getting a little squirrely back there. I believe that was Chris Hockley. Oh, it's somebody else going for a ride. Car getting loose back there. In the meantime, coming to the stripe, Ryan Pelfrey. Strategy? No strategy. He's trying to make it work. The white flag is out one more time at Homestead. The 27 is going to try to get it done. You got to respect this battle. A guy who's put his heart and soul into the league, and another one who's won one of the most winningest drivers in this league, battling it out as they go into 3. In the meantime, Ryan Pelfrey. Again, strategy, no strategy. It does not matter. Ryan Pelfrey in the 33 car is going to win here at Homestead. And it looks like Britt Van Meter was leading at the line for that 3rd place finish. Lane Hosler's going to finish P2. What a battle all over the racetrack here at Homestead. Incredible finish. And ultimately, the 33 fighting hard for that victory here tonight for OSR Xfinity action. We're going to step aside. We're sure we're going to see the 33 burn it down here in just a moment. The 27 may do just the same. But after it's all said and done, as we're going to step aside here, and we'll bring you some post-race coverage. You're watching Turn 1. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, it's always a great time with OSR, and Turn 1 come together. Tonight was no exception. We'll quickly talk to our race winner, Ryan Pelfrey. Ryan, it looks like strategy, no strategy, able to bring home the 33 in victory lane. Talk us through the night, and did you expect to be here at the end of this?
No, not at all. It's been a long week, so no practice at all. Just jumped on for the race and just hoped to have a top 10. And I didn't know what to do on that first caution, so I just followed Richard, and I don't think it was going to work out. So maybe top 10, but that's about it. And then the caution came out there, able to get tires, and then got lucky with that big pile up there, and was able to get up front and just hold lane off, as drive as far as what all I had, and lane was just matching me lap times there, it looked like.
Ryan, we saw, obviously, as you mentioned, that the cautions kind of play in your favor here tonight, but you've got, I mean, for the top 4, 3 of you being on that strategy, got to say something that's staying out maybe was the right call. When you got to about lap 45 when you came down pit road, was that out of just finally giving up and feel like you were losing too much time? What brought you down earliest there?
Yeah, so we obviously needed that second run to go green so that they wouldn't be able to they'd have to use their second set of tires. But I pitted there because I knew we were losing so much time to the leader that if I ran that out and they pitted, they'd be right behind me and just pass me right away. So I knew I could make it from there, hit as early as possible, hope it went green, hope get lucky, and then if it does go green, hopefully I'll be able to catch back up to them somehow in the last 25, 30 laps, whatever it was. But it kind of worked out, and at least gave us the option of having tires at the end like they didn't.
Yeah, it definitely played out in your favor. Ryan Pelfrey bringing home the victory here tonight at Homestead. Ryan, it's been great talking to you, and we appreciate the time, and congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Appreciate you in Turn 1 doing this, and got to thank Cross Collision and Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Campbell for being the race sponsors. Thank you.
Absolutely. Ryan Pelfrey, your winner here tonight at Homestead. We'll talk to Lane Hosler now. Lane, congratulations, P2. Just maybe a little short there at the very end. What did you need to maybe get past Ryan Pelfrey, or at least get up there and maybe battle for that position?
Honestly, I needed probably 20 more laps. I think I had a pretty good setup in my head of a nice long run pace. I found something practicing a little bit yesterday and kind of made a plan and pretty much stuck to it most of the race. I kind of wish that caution kind of lap 70-ish wouldn't have happened. I think I might have had something for the long run had it stayed green. But other than that, yeah, honestly, nice to be back up here. Felt good the last couple of weeks, just not quite what we needed.
Well, able to bring home a top 3 here has got to feel good, especially after, again, the chaos of the different strategies. Lane Holzer's bringing home a P2 here tonight at Homestead. Lane, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
And then we'll quickly talk to the 27 car, Britt Van Meter, bringing home 3rd here tonight. Britt, I tell you what, you're on a little bit of a tear here the last couple weeks. So I believe you had a Truck Series victory, is that right? And then now a top 3 over on the Xfinity side. Did you get something figured out in the old 27 camp?
None of that even matters. I passed Richard Lucky for 3rd place in the Xfinity Series.
Listen,
that's all that matters.
As far as I'm concerned, that was the pass of the night. Obviously, Britt talking about that pass that we covered in great detail here on the broadcast of the closing laps. Britt, obviously, we mentioned, somebody who's kind of put their heart into this league over the last as many years as I've known you. And then with somebody, what I would argue is probably one of the most winningest drivers of this group, battling it out side by side. That had to feel good to be able to get that done at the end.
Oh, for sure. I mean, anytime you can pass Richard on a racetrack, it don't matter when. That's a great feeling. He ran me extremely clean there. I mean, he may have lifted a little bit at the start-finish line, but even if he did, I don't care. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Britt, obviously you saw the kind of the strategy playing out. You were one of the top 4, the only one of the top 4 who really kind of didn't play that strategy. Did you think maybe that they had something with those 6 drivers staying out on lap number 23? And was there any thought that crossed your mind maybe that was not the right call to make?
No, I honestly thought this race was going to go green after the first yellow. That's why I took tires. So I was kind of just, kind of playing that strategy. I thought we were going to get a super long green flag run. And it kind of worked out at the end, getting a late yellow too. So
It did.
there was no strategy. It was just luck.
Well, I don't know if it was that, but it certainly worked out. And by the way, you were the only driver out of the top 5 to not play against that strategy. So something says something there. I don't know if it's talent, speed, what is it? But either way, Britt Van Meter bringing home P3 here tonight, and damn straight, he passed Richard Lucky clean
right.
and green on the racetrack. Britt, congratulations.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate you for everything you do.
Absolutely. And with that, we'll wrap up race coverage here tonight. Turn 1, another wild night in the books at Homestead for OSR. And I can't say enough about how much I enjoy working with these guys each and every week. Quality racing on the racetrack. I have been covering their races, goodness, for what feels like 4.5 years now. And I truly call them friends, and they put on a hell of a show each and every week. So appreciate the league admins over at OSR. I appreciate you, the viewer, for being here. And we're going to head on over to Sunday night. And Sunday night, I believe I take that back. Yeah, Sunday Night Thunder. It's going to take on a little bit of a different look, but meet us there. Sunday night, normal time, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here, Turn 1. Until then, I'm Sean Fitz. Appreciate you being here. Take care. See you soon.